Welcome back again. Here we are in the third and the final part of the law of demand from module 1 of your coursework. In the previous parts, we have already studied what actually means demand, what we understand when we say demand. We have studied about demand function, demand schedule, downward sloping demand curve. So here we are going to study in this video about factors affecting demand. Income of consumers, prices of substitutes, prices of complements, change in taste, fashion, seasonality, advertisement prices, prices of the product itself. All this causes changes in demand of a commodity. There may be various factors which affects the person's demand for a commodity, but we have picked up only few. This may be also regarded as assumptions of law of demand. That is, for the law of demand to hold, the other factors which influences demand should be held constant. So first off, we have income of a consumer. The income of the consumer is assumed to remain constant. This is done because when consumer starts earning more, his demand pattern changes. So we hold it as constant. When a person earns more, he tends to demand more units of the good, more of other commodities also. So for that purpose, so that the income does not affects the demand, we hold it as constant. Number 2, prices of substitutes. We assume the prices of substitutes to remain constant. By substitutes, we simply mean those goods that can be used instead of the ones we are using now. Like instead of tea, we can use coffee, etc. So the prices of substitutes are also assumed to be constant so that they do not influence the given person's demand. Suppose if there is a very high increase in prices of tea leaves. So what a normal person would do? He would instead substitute tea for coffee. So in that way, we assume the prices of tea, I mean the substitute commodities to remain constant. Likewise, prices of complementary goods are also assumed to be constant. Complementary goods are those goods that are jointly demanded like petrol, petrol and car, fountain pen and ink, etc. A change in price of complement shall have effects on the demand of the other complement, hence assumed to be constant. So let us take for an example, if there is a sharp rise in the prices of petrol, so normally people will refrain from purchasing new cars, new vehicles. So in that case, petrol and car are called complementary goods, like they are jointly demanded. So for the sake of convenience and for the law of demand to hold, we assume that the prices of complements do not change. We know when a commodity goes out of fashion, it is demanded less. So hence we assume that there is no change in fashion. The other factor which affects the demand, or which we assume to be held constant, is that some goods are demanded only in certain seasons like raincoat, ice creams, woolen wear, etc. We assume there is no change in fashion. And we assume there is no change in season. So that it does not affect the demand for that particular commodity. The other thing that we hold up constant is advertisement cost. We do it because when the owner or when the producer incurs heavy advertisement expenditures, the demands are supposed to be rising. So for that purpose, we assume it to be constant. Hence, we shall have a perfectly holding law of demand if the above factors, or the list we have mentioned here, is held constant. Thank you.